with Fundora, it seems like he's moving on to Errol Spence. What is your who do you favor in that one?
Um, I'm leaning more towards Fundora.
Is there any particular reason why?
Activity, uh, heights, um, and I don't know. I don't know what Spence is still there.
Right. And winning this fight against Murtazaliev puts you in prime position to fight Fundora, to maybe fight Spence if he pulls it off. There are a lot of big fights for you at 154 pounds. I think you're interested in more of the fights more in fights against guys who are not the title holders right now. I know you've mentioned Jermell Charlo in the past, Errol Spence. Of course, Vergil Ortiz is the interim title holder. What needs to happen in order for that previously agreed to fight you had against Vergil Ortiz to happen again?
Um, I don't really know, in all honesty. Like right now, we've got a little bit of I got a plan, and there are heaps of fights, but I'm sure like where me and him are both young, so like I guess there's not much of a big rush to make it happen now. Now, like we've still got it. We've still got heaps of time left.
Everyone was really excited about that fight. Unfortunately, you had to pull out because your cut was not healing in time. Did you feel like you perhaps were rushed into accepting that fight, not knowing the circumstances behind it?
Um, yeah, it was a bit of a like a like as soon as I get a fight offered, there's like no question. Yes, yes. Like I don't need to watch tapes and need to think about it. It's straight away, yes. And then it sort of happened that the cut was still healing. I just took, as soon as I accepted the fight, it was like a couple of days after I got my stitches out. So it was still completely fresh. And then once I came back from a little training camp with my dad, it was still not ready to go. And for these days when you're at this level, everything's got to be 100%. There's no such thing as taking the short corner and rushing things and doing things not professionally.
It seems like you had the framework to make a deal with Riyadh season, and now there has been some back and forth between you and both with both sides. Do you feel there's a framework there to repair the relationship and to do business with them and to fight on one of their cards moving forward?
Look, it all depends on the scenario, man. Like at the same time, I'm happy with with the position I'm at. So it's like, well, what do I need? What do I need to do? Like everything's good at this stage. If there's big fights to be made, then yeah, we'll start talking and consider it. But right now, I got all the fights in front of me, so we'll see how it goes.
When we met earlier this year in Los Angeles, you said your goal was to fight in America moving forward. You called it USA back then, as far as what the takeover would look like. Do you see yourself fighting in the United States against these fellow American fighters? The Vergil Ortiz fight would have been in Los Angeles, but Spence, Fundora,
Yeah,
Charlo, Crawford, all these guys. Do you want those fights to be taking place in the United States?
yeah, 100%. This is where it's at. Like I've basically moved here. I've got a living in a house here, so I've been here for the last 3.5 months. So I'm basically in America here to live my dream.
What would a dream fight against Crawford look like for you?
Yeah, it'd be cracker, like they say styles make fights. It'd be one hell of a show, that one.
What was your assessment of his 154-pound debut against Madrimov?
I think he did well, in my opinion. I think he did well. Critics are gonna be always like that, but I think he did well. Like Madrimov's no bum, so people don't understand. And 154 is a different division to 147. So another thing.
Crawford obviously has two lines that he's working on. One is a fight against Canelo at 168. The other is becoming undisputed at 154. If you win this title, he would have to go through you to become undisputed. In your perfect world, what does 2025 look like? Who are you fighting in 2025?
Um, Look, the boxing dynamic changes in 3 months, 6 months. There's a new winner, there's a new loser, and there's entertaining fights, and some people's stock goes up, some people's stock goes down. So yeah, for me right now it'd be probably Charlo, Errol Spence, and Crawford.
Tim, you're coming off of the very competitive fight against Sebastian Fundora. Unfortunately, didn't go your way that night. But here you are back again in the spotlight for another crack at a world title. What do you know about Murtazaliev, and what have you been preparing for?
I'm just preparing for the best version of myself. Just simple, like being present at every single second of the fight. And I haven't really thought much about him at all, in all honesty. I know he's tough and he's dangerous and stuff like that, but it's me who's in the ring.
Gotcha. Is there anything from the Fundora fight that is kind of leading to this approach where it's more about what you're doing and not what the opponent is up to?
Exactly, exactly. I feel like maybe at one given time in the fight during the Fundora, I lost a bit of concentration. Emotions played a part, distractions, and it made me lose a couple of rounds, which at the end of the day costed me the fight. As it was a split decision only by 1 point. So yeah, when you calculate it all out, every round matters and every second matters.
When you're saying you kind of gave away a couple of rounds by not I guess being at the level of concentration you wanted to be at, was that because of the cut or what you were not doing, what Fundura was doing? What would you attribute that to?
Yeah, I'd say it was part of the cut. It was the cut, especially in the early rounds, mid rounds. And for me, it was a lesson learned. Like no matter what circumstances you're given, there's no excuses, no matter what. So that's how I approach it now.
Did at any point in your corner, was there a conversation like we could stop this thing because of the accidental clash of heads? Or were you just focused on finishing the fight?
No, I still had the belief that I felt comfortable with him at a certain time, so I felt like I could turn the tide around and land my shots, the ones that I was landing in the previous, because I saw him hurt as well, in the early rounds. So I felt like I could have got the job done.
As far as Murtazaliev, he's coming off a knockout of Jack Kukai. Did you watch that fight? What did you make of his performance?
No, I haven't watched it. I don't really watch fights, but
Gotcha.
from the highlights I saw, yeah, yeah, it looked pretty good.
Have you watched your fight against Fundora? How many times have you done that one?
No, I haven't watched it. I watched
No?
highlights. No, I don't really watch fights. I don't really like. I don't rewatch my fights. In all honesty,
What does the perfect night at the office look like for you?
30 seconds. But look, I'm not looking for the knockout. I'm just looking to get myself to show the dog in me. And I'm ready to have that feeling back.
I think you definitely showed the dog in you in your last fight against Fundura. It was certainly a spectacle to see you kind of dig down, bite down, and having to go through that kind of adversity. You showed a level of determination that is rarely seen when fighters are hit with that kind of adversity. So, congratulations to you getting this opportunity once again. And it looks like we got 30 seconds of work next week.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
All right, Tim. Thank you so much
Appreciate
for the
that.
time. Appreciate you.